Hey y'all, Chris with Obsessive Balls podcast. Here to talk about college football this week. Hard day to be a Tiger, hard week to be a Tiger. Somehow we still have a chance to be in it, but what an embarrassing loss at home to Alabama. It's one of those games that you have to be prepared for, you have to be ready for, and you just weren't. You got out coached, you got out muscled, you got outworked, you got out everything. And at the end of the day, you got to be better. Luckily, it was a weekend full of upsets and some private text messages. I called a couple of those. I had Georgia Tech over Miami 100%. That was a good one. I had Ole Miss over Georgia 100%. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But overall, bad day to be a Tiger. Hard to really swallow. Hard to be out there and be part of it, but at the end of the day, we'll bounce back. What the recruiting classes coming in will be better. We will improve. We just need to be more prepared. We need to be more prepared at USC in the beginning of the season so you can afford a loss at one point. But there's some really weird, really crazy ways that LSU can somehow make the playoff and make an SEC championship, which is absolutely absurd to me and probably won't happen. But go Tigers. As far as the rest of college football that week, we've already mentioned the Georgia Tech over Miami. I mean, Miami showed flaws all season long. At the end of the day, they were going to lose, and Georgia Tech kind of just beat them in every phase of the game. They showed that you control the clock, you keep the rhythm away from Cam Ward, and Cam Ward will make mistakes. As he did. Ole Miss goes out and absolutely dominates Georgia. Georgia, arguably some of the best wins in the nation, arguably some of the worst losses in the nation in how they've lost the games they've lost. We'll see if they bounce back, which, I kind of think they will. It is a interesting kind of thing going on in the SEC right now. I've seen some predictions where you have Navy, Army, Boise State, both in from winning their conferences and being higher ranked than a quote unquote 3-loss LSU SEC champion. But we'll see. I don't see a world where they leave an SEC team out of the playoff, no matter if everybody's got 3 losses. At the end of the day, they play tougher football. It's more real deal, and you just got to go with an SEC team. Kind of moving along from what happened last week and what's going to happen this week. Kind of what to be watching for, as we always do. I think the Texas-Arkansas game is interesting. Arkansas is a better team than their record. Playing on the road in the SEC is always a difficult thing to do. I think Texas handily wins this. I'm not worried about that, but I do think that they need to come in prepared. Other than that, in the 10 o'clock hour, Colorado, the Buffs, big time, prime time, playing at 10 a.m. You got to watch out. The Buffs are in a must-win situation from here on out, and they have to win every game. But if they find themselves against an undefeated BYU team, I think Colorado Buffaloes can be a 3-loss team that makes the playoffs, even losing in the Big 12 championship. Now, obviously, some things got to happen to help that out. Obviously, they can control their own destiny by winning out and beating BYU in the Big 12 championship. But I'm trying to figure out a way to go to my first ever Buffs game, not this weekend, but the day after Thanksgiving, to go watch them play Oklahoma State. 10 a.m. Colorado Buffs must win. Other than that, Clemson Pitt. Pitt can be a destroyer right here. Pitt can ruin Clemson's chances. I don't think that there's a 2 ACC team in the playoff anyway, but if there is, Clemson's got to win out and lost to Miami, or beating Miami and then Miami and Clemson in is an interesting possibility. Tulane Navy, a big game this week in the AAC. Tulane is got the inside track, ranked again. I kind of called them for earlier this season. They've grown up. They've matured along this season. Definitely a worthwhile watch in the 10 o'clock hour. Other than that, we're going to move right down into the afternoon hour. 2:15, Missouri goes to South Carolina. Missouri is a 14-point dog on the road to South Carolina. I'm not saying they're going to win the game. South Carolina's in kind of a similar situation to LSU. If they keep winning, they'll find themselves in a potential playoff situation. Potentially, South Carolina can make one of the first SEC championships that they've ever done. So definitely something to keep an eye out for there. That should be an amazing game at 2:15. And then going into the evening hour, game of the week. Tennessee travels to Georgia. SEC's been doing this all year long. I've called it multiple times. You go on the road after a team has a bad loss. That's a very good football team. Tennessee's losing this game. It's the way the SEC goes. Georgia's too good. Yes, their defense has been worse than normal, but they show up when they need to show up after losing bad games. I got Georgia beating Tennessee in the game of the week. Upset alert as well there. So, hey, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll keep you updated, gives you some things. Oh, as per request by multiple friends, I've been requesting a parlay. I'm taking Missouri plus the points. I'm taking Georgia money line, and I'm taking BYU minus the points. There's my 3-game can't miss parlay. Peace.